Hey guys, Yankee here, and today I want to be talking about Tenchi Muyo OVA 1, Episode 7. This is a 44-minute special called The Night Before the Carnival. It's not, on my anime list, it's not considered a part of OVA 1, but I'm going to count it as a part of OVA 1 just for these videos. But it is sort of like its own standalone special, I guess. This is a slice-of-life episode. There's some important stuff here and there, but for the most part it is just all of our characters sort of messing around at home. Right, we have Ryoko and Aika love triangle thing going on with Tenchi. That's a bulk of this episode. We have Washu we're seeing where she sort of fits in with this dynamic that we have at the house now. And it's just fun. So a good chunk of the episode is, again, Ryoko, Aika, trying to get Tenchi's attention. And in this episode, they discover what shoujo manga is, because they see, I think, Mihoshi and Sasami reading some. And for some reason, there's just a huge collection of shoujo manga at Tenchi's home. So they are attempting to recreate moments from shoujo manga to sort of try and get Tenchi interested in them. So we have Ryoko doing the oops, I accidentally bumped into you bit. We have Aika giving Tenchi a letter telling him to meet her after school at the shrine, which has a pretty funny end where Tenchi gets sidetracked because this house is a disaster, and Aika's just alone at the shrine at night and doesn't understand what after school actually means because she's not from Earth, so she doesn't know when after school is, so she's just waiting all day. We get a lot of fun stuff in that. Just a lot of fun Tenchi, Ryoko, and Tenchi Aika interactions. It's a fun part of the episode, and it's the bulk of the episode. We also get some Washu, right? How does she fit in? What is she going to do? Things like that. And we learned in the last episode she's a scientist. She created Ryoko and Ryo-Ohki and Kageto's ship, which I can't remember the name of. The OVA? Is that right? And we see her just do science things. She's interested in Tenchi because of what he did during the fight with Kageto, so she's doing tests on him. There's a moment where Mihoshi needs to go and report back to her higher-ups at GXP sort of what's been happening, but she doesn't have a ship, and Washu easily pulls out Yuki Nojo from, I don't remember what it was exactly said to be in the episode, but a space between dimensions. It had just been trapped in there. And she pulled that out, and she pulled out the ghost creature Ryoko summoned at the Hot Springs episode, which she also easily took care of, if I'm not mistaken. So we get to see sort of Washu's place in the family dynamic. And that's good, because we didn't really see much of her at the end, or in OVA 1. She appears in the very last episode. She also gives us a bit of information that I don't know if it was said in the main OVA, that basically Kageto was specifically trying to get Tsunami, which in the actual episodes, from what I remember, is he was after sort of power, and I don't think he ever specifically stated he was going after Tsunami specifically. When Tsunami showed up, he was obviously happy about that and tried to get his hands on it, but in this episode, Washu explains, Kageto's plan was to send Ryoko to Jirai so they could get the Tsunami ship. Cool. That's good information to have. Back to Mihoshi. She basically, I think it was Ryoko, basically tried to trick her to get out of the house, because she had been hitting it off well with Tenchi's grandfather, and Ryoko had planned to sort of get him to arrange a marriage for her with Tenchi, and Mihoshi was sort of a threat to that. So she's the reason that Mihoshi needs to get her ship back and then go report things to her superiors, right? We get a really a nice scene between Mihoshi, Tenchi, and Sasami, where Mihoshi's getting ready to leave, and like Sasami's crying, and Tenchi's like, "Come back! You can come back whenever you want." It's really nice, and just really funny as like Ryoko watches, and Mihoshi gets this really nice farewell, as her and Aika have been trying to get Tenchi's attention and just sort of failing. And then Mihoshi goes and reports basically everything that has happened to GXP, which is going to come into play later, and then she just comes right back. Cool. What else happened? I think that's, for the most part, everything. I just gotta talk about one last little thing, and this is, like, the important thing. Sasami's asleep, and she has a nightmare about a character called Tokimi. We don't know who this is, it's not really explained, we just see, I think we see her, like, in full. I don't think it's a silhouette. I can't really remember. It's been a little bit since I watched this episode. But we see Tokimi, we hear her name, and it freaks Sasami out. And that's it. Like, she goes to sleep in Tenchi's bed because Aika and Ryoko are fighting. So Sasami goes to spend time with them as they're fighting outside his door, which is funny. Like, they're trying to sneak into Tenchi's room, and while they're arguing back and forth, Sasami just sort of walks in. And it's fun. And we see, like, Washu and Ryo-Ohki are already in there, and it's just nice. I really enjoy this episode, because something I really enjoy about Tenchi Muyo was sort of, like, just the dynamic of having everybody in the house. Like, I watch and read a lot of harem stuff, but I really enjoy just having everybody sort of in one place and seeing not just them interact with the main character, but also interacting with each other and sort of the relationships they have. So that's why, like, Sasami crying over Mihoshi leaving is nice. Obviously, Ryoko and Aika's bickering back and forth is fun. But, like, Washu interacting with them is interesting, too. Like how... okay, I didn't even mention this. Washu has, like, a weird... how do I explain? Like, pocket dimension that she's in. That Mihoshi is somehow able to let herself into, and Washu has no clue how she did that. So, like, Washu and Mihoshi have, like, an interesting little back and forth where you've got this super smart scientist doing all this, and then you've got this clumsy girl who is like, constantly just sort of stumbling into her stuff and breaking things, like when Mihoshi was just touching a bunch of buttons on her computer. So that's fun, right? Like, I enjoy that. So I enjoy this episode a lot. I don't think it's my favorite episode of the season, but it's really fun. I enjoy it. We've got basically the cast here now, so we get to see, like, a lot of moments between everybody. And I think it's a good... like, last episode was a good ending to the season, but this is, like, a nice little... like, I always like a nice little, like, episode that's just sort of calm afterwards. Like, I don't need... okay, the main plot's over. We're done. Let's just stop and move on. Like, I like a nice after story where the main bad guy is gone and we're just back at it. We're just having fun at home. Things like that. So I really enjoy this episode. It's really good. OVA 1, still really great. I'm looking forward to getting into OVA 2. I'll probably start watching that soon. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.